Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for this week, we are going to be doing a reading vlog. And it just so happens that we are in the middle of the Biannual Bibliothon. So I thought it would be perfect just to do a reading vlog. So it is currently 2 o'clock in the afternoon, July 15th. The readathon actually started July 11th last week. But July 11th just happened to be my 10-year wedding anniversary, so I didn't vlog then. And then I think I only vlogged like on Friday, so I'm scrapping that whole week. But I did start reading on Friday the 12th, because in my mind, I thought the Bibliothon started on the 12th, on Friday, but no, it started actually on Thursday. But either way, here we are. It's the 15th. We have until the 19th. Part of the things that I had said in the prior, for the prior week was that I didn't create a TBR for this readathon. Last month, I got into a really horrible reading slump. And so I thought I would participate in the readathons, but not create TBRs. I would just go with one challenge, pick a book, go with the next challenge, pick another book, and then whatever I could double up on, I would double up on. So that's what we're doing. So I'm going to tell you the books that I am currently reading. Daisy Jones and the Six, and I am by page 280. So almost done with this. I literally have just this little bit left. So I'm almost done with this. Really enjoying it. I have the physical book, but I'm actually listening to it on audiobook, and oh my gosh, what a difference it is. I mean, this book is fine to read along just like this, but to me, this book was made for an audiobook. It's a full cast on the audiobook. It listens like a documentary, which is what it is. This is just an interviews and the events that brought together Daisy Jones and the Six, the life of Daisy Jones and of all the band members, what happens throughout their career. It's just so fun, and because it is a full cast, it listens to like if you're listening to an actual interview, an actual documentary about the group. And that would complete a host's 5-star read. So I forget who, I think it's Emma Books that gave this 5 stars. I could be completely wrong. I will go ahead and make sure that I have that right before I check in for my final reading for my last update on Daisy Jones. And then I am currently also reading Wilder Girls, which currently I have for a book based on its cover. Wilder Girls to me is perfection as the cover goes. It is my all-time favorite cover ever. That's what all-time means. To me, I don't think anything can top that cover. Those are the 2 books I'm currently reading. I do have I could double up on Wilder Girls with a prediction, like a 5-star prediction. And I think I will. I think I'm doubling up on Wilder Girls. I am about 65 to 70% of the way through with Wilder Girls, and I am loving it. At this point, it would just have to be that the ending sucks, because so far it's 5 stars for me. There were a couple of parts on Wilder Girls that have me like confused. Here we're following our main protagonist, which is Hetty, and she's telling the story of when this disease hit the Rackster, which is an all-girls school, and it's set on an island. So those are the 2 books that I'm currently reading. And then I also know for a fact that I'm gonna read Aurora Rising, because this is the group book. So this is just another book that I have coming up. And then I also have the graphic novel, because one of the challenges is a graphic novel, but this will be done like in a day. And I'm gonna read Lock and Key Volume 1, which is Welcome to Lovecraft. So I'm excited to read this one. That's all I have on my TBR so far. So that is my intro for the Biannual Bibliothon. Here we are, here we go. Hopefully this vlog makes it out into the world. Hey y'all, so it's a little bit later in the day. It's like about 7:20, and I just finished Daisy Jones and the Six. 5 stars. Midway through this book, I was like, okay, this is a good book. I mean, it's Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's a good book. but it wasn't like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, or One True Loves, or like, it just wasn't that halfway through the book. It was good. The audiobook, like I said before, was phenomenal. But then you hit this point in this book where you're just like, okay, it's a Taylor Jenkins Reid book. I should have expected that. I should have expected the bam, you know, in the story. That ending is just like, I was in the kitchen listening to it because I'm like in the middle of cooking dinner. I know it's 7:30 and I'm cooking dinner. And I'm listening to it and I'm trying to finish it because I had to return the audiobook tomorrow. It was just so good. That ending was perfect. I just want to go and read all of her books. So far, every book that I've read, this is my the third book that I read of hers, the third 5-star for me. I love the audiobook as well because the unabridged version has, I don't know if it's only the unabridged or all of them, but it had like the honeycomb track, which is one of the songs in the book, and it had the instrumental, and that's the only part that I was just like, okay, it does not match what I envisioned for that song to be while reading it. So I didn't like the honeycomb track too much. Let me know what you thought about that if you heard the audiobook and you heard that track. But other than that, it was amazing. First book down into day 5 of the Biannual Bibliothon, but we got a few more days. If you hear my dog panting, I should have mentioned this before. If you hear my dog panting, he's like right here, and the two pits love to run outside next to the gate. I think you guys have seen him in another vlog, and so now he's like, it's like 100 degrees outside, and he's almost dying here. Let me show you. Willie, hey Willie. No, Willie. What you doing? Look at him. Pits are crazy. But yeah, I hear my oven going off, so I am going to go and pull the chicken out of the oven and hopefully sit down with the hubs to eat, and I will update you guys tomorrow on what's happening with my reading life. Hey guys, so it is Tuesday and it is around 3:30 in the afternoon. Who knows? I should, because I just looked at the time. I think it was like 3:30. And I finished Wilder Girls last night. Guys, I gave that book 5 stars. I did go ahead and order it because yesterday they had, it's like Prime week or day or whatever's going on this week for Amazon Prime. And they had a coupon code yesterday that if you bought $15 worth of, of books and you used like a code, they gave you $5 off. And so I went ahead and I ordered Wilder Girls because I need that book. Like I told you guys, that cover to me is the best cover ever designed in the world. And so I bought it. I was gonna buy it even if the book was 2 stars, 1 star. I was gonna buy it because I needed that cover in my life. But I did read the book through NetGalley and 5 freaking stars. I loved it so much. Now I will say, I did give this book 5 stars, and I'll get more into it, or probably not. Let's get into it now. I did give this book perfect stars, 5 stars. To me, when I rate a book, it has to do more for me with the feeling that I get when I read it, the adventure that I go on, if you will. But the writing sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes plays an impact on that. But for me, it's more of a feeling thing. It's more of the atmosphere. It's more of just how I felt when I look back at the moment reading it, how I felt, what it did to me, blah, blah, blah. And so this book was a perfect 5 for me in that sense. Atmospheric, it's gory, There are some animal things here and there which I wasn't too fond of, but if we think of the context of the book, of the dystopianness of the book, it goes perfectly well with it. The friendships between Byatt, Hetty, and Reese, I just find it so incredible. Hetty, to me, as a character in itself, was just, she was, you know, none of these girls are sweet. They're living horrible times. I mean, these are girls that are going through this disease, through the tox that really changes their body and morphs their body into completely different things. And so it's tough, but for as tough as all the girls are, Hetty is just such a sweet soul, in my opinion. And I really, really did fall in love with her character. It's a sad story. It's a happy story. It's a story full of despair, but also hope in the least little bit. The whole atmosphere of this book is just incredible. And I had put in my review that this is the kind of book that you read and it makes you want to go to whatever setting this is. So like, they are in the Raxter school for girls. That's like a boarding school for girls. That's called Raxter, and it is off the coast of Maine. And so it made me want to go to this location. It made me want to walk through these halls, through these woods that are just, you know, everything is just taken over by the tox. And so, yeah, I mean, such an amazing story. I'm going to stop rambling on about it, but I really, really did love it. I should still be doing the vlog when I do get my package in the mail, so you guys will be seeing my book mail whenever I get it that day. I was able to catch some sprints, some reading sprints last night for the first time in 5 days. I had so much fun. I think they were up to like 3 in the morning with reading sprints, which was super fun. I think I stayed up till like, I think it was like 2 in the morning. I didn't participate in the last 1 hour sprint, but I stayed up till like about 2 with them. And so the next book I'm picking up is Aurora Rising. Aurora Rising. This is the group book, and I actually found the audiobook on Scribd, and so I'm gonna be listening to that while I do some chores. Hey guys, so it is Wednesday and it is about 12:40, almost 1 in the afternoon, and I was gonna sit down and do my makeup because I'm gonna film the mid-year book freakout tag, I think it's what it's called. I've never filmed that before, so I'm excited to film it. I know I don't look excited. It's been a rough morning and I'm trying to work through like my negative thoughts and not stop myself from doing anything and just laying down on the couch and crying. So I'm trying to work through it. So I figured let me do my makeup, let me get in the groove, let me update you guys on my reading for the Biannual Bibliothon. I think Bibliothon. This is not a bibliothon, it's a bibliothon. Bibliothon. That word sounded so wrong. And I think we are on day 7. So last night, or yesterday actually, I started listening to the audiobook of Aurora Rising. I don't have the book here with me. I think it's in my living room. And I'm not about 75 pages of the way through or in, and I'm really enjoying it. So the audiobook, first I want to say that I hate Scribd. I really, really do. I don't know if any of y'all have this issue with Scribd, but it takes like a really long time to load, and sometimes it won't track to the last spot I went, but to where it last started like loading, and I can't pause it or anything. So I have to like close out the program and then restart it, and it starts back on that area where it started like buffering at. And it's not my internet, because I'm an internet snob and I need to have like the best internet, like the best speed. And I know that the internet sometimes, you know, it's technology, it messes up, but I've only had this issue with Scribd all the time. And so I've already canceled it, but I still have like the whatever is left from the billing cycle. But it's happened to me with multiple books, and it just pisses me off because I have to like keep going back and closing out in between chapters. It'll happen like halfway, or not halfway, but almost at the end of a chapter. And so I have to go back and reopen it, and it's it's a pain. It's a pain in the ass. And if I don't go and like pause it like right before the chapter ends, it'll do that. It'll like try to load and I hate Scribd. And so anyways, I haven't been able to check, but I believe it's like a full cast, which makes it so cool because it's like you're listening to a sci-fi movie. It's so cool. I'm liking the characters so far. I don't think I'm like that far into it to really say, okay, well, I like this character or not. So that's it. That's all I've been really reading. And yesterday we finally finished Stranger Things. We had been like behind for a while. My husband, with that show, he's sort of like the beginning like episodes of the season, they're sort of like blah to him, so he like loses interest. But I had been like asking him because we had only watched like, as of recently, as of last week, we had only watched the first few episodes of season 2. And so I've been dying to watch season 3, and I just told him like, let's just watch it, please. And so we binged it on the weekend. We binged season 2 and season 3. That show is just so good. I was telling him that it just makes me want to go back to that time, like in the 80s. So around the time where that show is taking place in the 80s, I was born 81, but later on, I think the show is taking place, 85, maybe 86. I don't know, but I was already like 5 or 6 years old. And I remember the majority of the 80s and then the 90s and how simple it was, how just, I mean, there's issues in any time period, right? But I think it's just getting worse and worse with technology and just people and just having such a huge access to the rest of the world. You know, it brings out more of the assholes and more of the jerks, you know, than if you were just concentrated to your own area, you know, because there's always been bullies and assholes, always been that. But it's always like before technology, it was just concentrated to where you lived, but open access to the whole entire world, and they're all going to come together. That's just the way it is, you know? So it was just such a simpler time, and I wish we could go back. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes I wish we could go back because I really do love technology. So I don't know, but sometimes I wish we could go back and live in those times. But what an intense season. It was so intense. Like that last episode, I was like with my heart pounding the whole entire time. It's such a good show. Gosh, it's such a good show. And I mean, I don't know what else I could say about it. Do you guys watch Stranger Things? Do you guys like it? Have you not watched it at all? What do you guys think? I know there's people that watch it that weren't even around in those times. What do you guys think of that time era? And the fashion, I mean, Nancy's like dresses and stuff, they almost look like, I can't even describe the material, but she has like this purple dress on, or shirt, I think it is, or whatever it is, and you could see like the top part with like, I remember that fashion, and it's just so cool. But yeah, if you were not born in the 80s, if you were born like after like late 90s or 2000, my daughter was born 2001, but tell me what you think about that time period, and the fashion and like the neon lights in the malls. Oh my gosh. And the movie theater. Oh, that was just, it was so cool. I loved that the majority of this one was like out in the like establishments more than in their own houses. I thought that was so cool, just reliving that. And when they went to the Gap and they were shopping for Elle, oh my gosh, and I love man, I always forget her name. Billy's sister, what's her name? Max. I love her character so much. And Billy's character, I mean, he did such a fantastic job. It was just so amazing. I loved everything about it. So yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the show, if you watch it. And I'm going to continue doing my makeup. I'm going to put my audiobook on, and I will see you guys later. Hey guys, so it is currently Thursday and it is almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was gonna start filming a video. Yesterday was a bust. I did my makeup, we got some bad news, I took it right off, cried all afternoon, and read. So I do have a reading update, but I was just gonna sit down and film. And one of the books that I am going to be using for this video, I'm filming the mid-year book freakout tag, and then one of the books that I'm going to talk about I actually just got in the mail today, but I wanted to go ahead and open this book mail with you guys. So I'm super excited for these because, oh my gosh. So the first one that I'm pulling out here is The Bookish Life of Nina Hill. Look at this cover. Again, not my usual kind of genre, but it just looks so interesting. It's a bookish book about a girl that's bookish. I mean, I don't care what genre you're used to reading. You just gotta read this one. Come on. It could be a story about yourself. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like. It's gonna be a story about me. Could be completely wrong. And then I'm a little bit upset because I already read this book, but I read an arc of it, but I bought it just because of the cover, and my cover comes messed up. Wilder Girls. I'm gonna contact Amazon. I never do this. Like, I always just stay with the book that I buy, and that's that. Like, if it comes damaged, it comes damaged. But I bought this book specifically because of the cover. I mean, I love the book. I gave this book 5 stars, as you guys know. I already talked about it. But the main reason why I have it is because of the cover. I could have just stayed with the e-arc and that's it. But yeah, they're gonna have to send me another one. I'm gonna have to return this one, and they're gonna have to send me another one. But I mean, look at that cover. And you see, like, these areas are like matte, and then that part is like all glossy, and just, oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. So yeah, those are the 2 books that I got in the mail today. And then I wanted to give you a little update on where I am with my reading. I have gotten more of the Aurora Rising in. Man, this audiobook is just incredible. I love it because whenever there's a scene where they talk through like a walkie-talkie, not a walkie-talkie, but through like a device, they make that like walkie-talkie kind of noise with the voice and stuff. It is so amazing. I am currently on around page 214 or 215. I'm quite a bit of the way through. I'm hoping to finish this book today because it's just a fast story. It's sci-fi, it's YA, so I find myself like laughing a lot with the book, and just, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know that it's a 5-star book, but it's good. It's entertaining, and it's doing its job of entertainment. Good morning, guys. It is Friday the 19th. I wasn't able to finish Aurora Rising yesterday, and today's the last day. We are in crunch time once again, and I have all day to finish this, but I wanted to finish it last night. And ask me why, wanting to finish this last night, I sat on my couch for possibly 2 hours just watching YouTube videos. I love watching YouTube videos. I've been watching YouTube since, we moved here to Texas in 2011. And so I think by 2012, being that I was like a stay-at-home wife, a homemaker, my daughter would go to school, my husband would go to work, and I would just stay home alone in a new, city. And I discovered the world of YouTube through makeup. And I have been watching YouTube videos since 2012, and it's one of my favorite things to do. Before it was makeup. Now, you know, a couple years ago, I discovered this whole book community on YouTube and on Instagram. And so I go back and forth between the beauty community and the lifestyle community and the book community. And so it had been a good minute since I've watched BookTube. Probably like, I don't know, a week. So I was really behind on YouTube videos, and I just sat down yesterday and, well, because I've been trying to read more than watch videos. And so I feel like I was behind. I was like out of the loop. And so I just sat there for 2 hours and watched Books and Lala, April. Who else did I watch yesterday? I watched a couple vlogs. That's my favorite, are reading vlogs. Those are my favorite to watch. And so as I'm sitting there, let's say past the 1 hour point, I was like, I should be reading, because I honestly have, I mean, I listened to a little bit more of the audiobook yesterday. I keep track through here, and then I keep track of like how many pages I read a day. And so I haven't really checked what was the last part that I ended up at, but either way, I think I'm by like page 235 or so. So around that, I have all of this left. And I could have finished it yesterday, and I'm there thinking, instead of watching YouTube videos, bitch, like, get to reading. Put on your audiobook on and play your video games. But now. And so here we are, and I want to finish that book, and then I want to do these two. I still haven't done the graphic novel, which this is nothing. I could sit down right now and read this. But I find that for graphic novels, at least for me, I have to really be in the mood for it. And then for, here, let me check before I tell you something that's not. Then for, author I never read, I wanted to read Stirring the Sheets, this little small book by Chad Lutsky. I don't know. Yeah, Lutsky. Or Lutz. Yeah, Chad Lutsky. I think that's how you say it. I wanted to read this small because it's so tiny and small. So I still have these 2 books left. So I want to see if maybe I can speed up this audiobook, because I have it at 1.5 right now. I find that although it still does that loading issue that I was telling you guys about yesterday, I find that if I put it any higher than 1.5, it happens more often. And so it's just upsetting. I mean, it happens all the time. Even if I have it at regular speed, that loading issue happens. And I told you guys that I had canceled the service. I got charged again. I forgot to cancel it. At least I have it for a little bit longer so that I can use it during the reading rush, because one of the bonus challenges for the reading rush is to read 7 books. The only way that I can possibly get to 7 books is with audiobooks. So we'll see how that goes. I was filling out my reading rush challenge page. I need to update my pages read. I keep track of it on my phone, and then I'll transfer it onto here. So I need to update this. So I think I'm going to do that while I listen to the audiobook. I have nothing else to update you guys on. It is the last day. I think it's like about 10:30 in the morning. So I'm going to get to reading, and then hopefully finish all my challenges and all my books. But you know what? Just kidding. Because I have... let me see where it is. If I do finish all these books, I still have the wild card open. So I might just use wild card. I don't know if we have to have a different book on there, but I might just put Stirring the Sheets on there. I don't know. I don't know how that wild card works. I don't know if I have to have a book there, but I have to have. So we'll see. Oh, and also... thank you. Also for the host 5-star read, I don't know why I kept saying Emma Books. It's not Emma Books. The one with Daisy Jones and the 6 as 5-star was Red. So I am reading Red's 5-star book. I kept saying Emma Books. I don't know why. Her book is Scythe. So yeah, a little fixing there, because I'm gonna have to edit that part out. I said Emma books like 3 times. Oh, I'm reading Emma books 5-star read. No, you are not, Marcella. So, am I crooked? Story of my life. So, I just reached part 3, and let me tell you my thoughts up to now. All up to chapter, let me see what chapter this is. I think it's 24. All up to chapter 24, I'm like, okay, this is like a 3-star book. I mean, it's good. I'm really enjoying the audiobook, but in my mind, I'm like, I can't just base the rating through an audiobook. You know what I mean? Because not everybody reads this book through an audiobook. And so I'm like, okay, this is a 3. Like, you know, I'm enjoying it, but am I really going to be thinking about it 3-4 days, a week from now? Probably not. This is one of those books that it's entertaining for the moment, but it's kind of forgettable. And then we hit chapter 24, and I was like, okay, I see you, 4 stars. I see where you're going. It just flipped. You just turned into a chapter 4 book. Like, chapter 4 book? What does that even mean? A 4-star book. So good. It definitely bumped it up. Let's see what happens now. All right, y'all. So it is a little bit like later in the day, and I just finished Aurora Rising. 4 stars. The ending got so good, and I don't know if it was because I was listening to it on audiobook, because I just messaged a friend of mine, hey Victoria, that she was reading it. Also, she was like buddy reading it with somebody else, but I messaged her because I knew that she had like recently finished it, and she said that she like liked it. It was okay, but it didn't like wow her. And I think it's because I listened to the audiobook. Like I told you guys already earlier, the audiobook had like all these sound effects and walkie-talkie effects. And then there's this part towards the end. I don't want to like spoil it for anybody. And I don't want to say too much of the story, but like it says on the synopsis of the book, there's this Legion squad, and the head, or like the main guy, is like top of the line. And he ends up with like the last picks as his squad, because in the middle of the draft picks, which is where he would pick, he would have been the first to pick his squad, like the best of the best. He would have been able to pick the best of the best, but he was on a mission that made him miss his that made him miss that draft. And so in this mission, or in this event, he finds this girl that she was like in cryo for a really long time, but he basically saves her because something happened. I don't want to get too much into the depth of the story. Because he was doing this, he misses first pick of the draft, and so he ends up with like the rejects, the ones that nobody picked as part of their squad. He ends up with them, and he's like, okay, whatever, well, I got to deal with this. And they are, the thing is that this girl that he rescued, she might be the answer to a war that's been fought many years ago. So with that being said, without giving too many details, there's this part of the book where it is, man, I don't know how to explain it without spoiling it. This war that they're fighting is against this huge thing that overtakes this whole entire planet. And when this one big thing starts talking, it's like a whole planet talking together. And it like the way they make it sound in the audiobook is just incredible. I hope I didn't just spoil anything, because I would hate to do that, because like you guys know, I like going into my books really blind, or fairly blind. So sometimes I'm scared of giving too much info out. But if you want to read this book, I don't know, I haven't gone on and checked what the reviews are, what people are rating this. I know that I've seen a couple of vlogs out there before that have been just okay with this book, especially after Illuminate, which are the same authors. Illuminate for me was incredible. It was a 5-star read. I haven't read the last 2 books yet. And so a lot of people were disappointed with this book from what I remember seeing in vlogs. If you want to read this book, if you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend the audiobook. They have it on Scribd. That's how I listen to it. So I haven't read anything yet. Like, it's been like 2 hours since I read anything. I don't know why I'm laughing, but I was sitting here like looking at my shelves and hating my shelves. Like, I don't have any room, and I'm gonna show you the disaster that I have here in like my woman cave. I have a disaster. I don't have enough shelves. I don't have enough space to put another shelf. I hate the painting that I have in here, but I loved it at one time. You know, my husband gave it to me, but I hate it because it's not me anymore. But I want to show you the overflowing of books that's going on because I have nowhere to put them. And I was just trying to arrange it on my shelves and I just couldn't. So I moved shit around, but I just don't like how I have my shelves. I'm crooked. Again. I just don't like how I have my shelves, and I have no way to put them because I guess I like to keep my unread books and my read books separate. I don't like to mix them, although I have a few that are mixed in, but I'll show you now what I mean. So don't mind the mess, but this is like my room when you come in. This is what you see. And so this here, don't mind it, but this is exactly what I mean. I have books here, books all up on top. There's a computer back there somewhere. I have my TBR cart that it's in disarray. All of this a mess. I hate that picture because it just doesn't match my like books and everything, and I had it hung up but it fell off the wall, and so I want to get rid of it, but I just feel so bad because my husband got it for me because I really wanted it for Christmas, not this past Christmas but the one before that. And then that's like my little table that I write my stuff on. Look my graphic novel still waiting to be read, and then, you know, books everywhere. But when you come here to my shelves, these are the two shelves that I have big size. Well, I have another one in my office area, but that one is like all unread books and it's huge, and it's like a dark brown color, and it was custom made for me years and years ago when I lived in Miami. And so it's just, it wouldn't match here. I used to have it here at the beginning of when we moved, but I have it in my office now and it's full of unread books, which I'm fine with having those there. I don't care. But so like, let's see if I can explain more or less what I have here. So up here we have classics, read or unread. Like I have all of my Alice in Wonderland, and then I have Chronicles of Narnia, Lord of the Flies, any kind of classic, old, not old, but just any kind of classics. Then these two shelves here are YA. I like to keep my I don't know if they're called, they're not genres, but categories or whatever, separate. So I'll have YA here. This here, I had a whole shelf of unread, and the reason why is because these two shelves here, which are like my horror and my zombie shelves, I had up here, and then these two shelves down here were all unread books. But because when I film, I sit down on the floor here, I wanted my horror books behind me because that's just my favorite genre. So I figured I just wanted them behind me. And so I moved one of the unread shelves here, which is crazy. I know, it's so confusing. But then I have here are all my mystery thrillers. Also, I have here like my book of the month. Book of the month normally is mystery thriller, so that's why I just had them all here. But I was overflowing, so what I did is I took some of the unread books from here and just moved over some. I think I had like the Poppy War, what's the other one? Once Upon a River, and then some like rom-coms, some thrillers. I don't like having my genres mixed up, nor my like YA adults. I like to have them all separate, so that's pissing me off. I don't like how that looks there. Those from here, from the books laying down over, are all unread. I hate that they're sitting there with the unread. All of these down here are unread. Then I have, those are all my book of the month that are unread. Don't pay attention to that. That was like book mail. All my book of the month that are unread. These aren't mine. That's my husband's cart because he has a little shelf like this. What's a different one out there, but his are all leadership books, and I'm like, you know what, I'll just put some of your books here because he needed somewhere to put it. And then all this here is unread. My Josh Malermans are up here. My Stephen King Hodder editions are there, and then all of this down here is unread. I have a pile of unread books here. And here I have my nail polish shelves. I love nail polish. I love doing my nails. And so I've always had this. This used to be like my makeup room. That's why you see, I'm trying to go slowly. You see this here. This is all full of makeup, lipsticks up there. That's why I wanted this, because I was mainly, I used to do like beauty videos, not a lot, but my stack of Stephen King there. This is for my, my Reading Rush TBR video that I'm gonna be doing, but everything is all over the place and I have no space and no room. So my daughter was like, well, take all this off of here, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna get rid of all of my nail polish to put books there. Like, I love my nail polishes, and I just feel like my room isn't big enough. If I can get rid of this here and just put bookshelves here, and if I were to show you that big shelf, the big bookcase that I'm talking about from my office, you guys would like probably be like, look, Marcella, you need to get rid of some books. I just can't. I hate that I can't have them all in one spot, and that I can't have more bookshelves in here, right? First world problems. Yeah, so that's what I've been trying to figure out and do instead of reading my graphic novel. So if I don't complete this readathon, whatever you want to call it, this is why. Because I'm doing unnecessary things instead of sitting down for 45 minutes and reading the stupid graphic novel and the stupid 80-page book novella that I'm trying to read. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I not just reading, people? Hey guys, so I think it's about to turn like 8 o'clock and I just finished Lock and Key. By Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. Well, Joe Hill is the author and Gabriel Rodriguez is the artist. I fell asleep for like, I don't know, maybe like 45 minutes. I passed out and then I kept on reading. But I loved this so much. I'm giving it 5 stars. It was so good. I want to pick up volume 2. It was Joe Hill, man, he has a crazy mind. I mean, just like his dad, but I feel like he, I don't know, they just have like crazy, ridiculous minds to come up with these stories and these like, it's so amazing. I think I'm going to be able to finish the readathon, although I still have the wild card open. So I don't know, man. I don't know, because Stirring the Sheets is going to be for an author I've never read, and I will still have wild card open. So I don't know if I can just double up on Stirring the Sheets with that one and complete all of them. But we will see. Or I can read another graphic novel. I think that sounds pretty cool. I think I'll read another graphic novel and then I would be done. I will be done with the readathon. Y'all, look at my reading buddy. Hey, Willie. Hi, Willie. Rudy. Hey. Hey. Rudy. Where's your Willie? Guy's sitting. Oh. Willie. Willie. What you doing, Willie? Look. He's so rude, trying to ignore me. So I'm sitting here reading Stirring the Sheets by Chad Lutsky. I think that's how you say it. My husband and daughter went out. She wanted cookies, and whatever she wants, she gets. And so I'm just sitting here reading, but I have a headache. I don't know if it's because of this bitch up here, my bun, but I have a headache. I'm sitting here reading Stirring the Sheets. First of all, this cover. Like, this cover just stops you from wanting to read the book because, I mean, I love it. I love the colors used. I always love how teal and red look. But it's creepy. It's a creepy cover. Look, it matches my hair. But so far we're following Emmett, and he is a funeral home worker. He does, he started at the funeral home. It is such a short book, so I really can't say much. I mean, I'm only, where am I? I'm only 20 pages in, and it's only like 100 pages long, I think. And Emmett, he works at a funeral home, and the way he started working there was that he started tending to the gardens And then he basically what does that mean? He basically learned how to embalm and do all of that to the bodies, and he calls it serving because he serves the people that have been hit with tragedies, in making their family members look the best that they can. And all we know is that he lives alone because his wife died, his wife of like 49 years, and he's almost, I think he's like a year or two shy of turning 70 years old. And so we're just following him right now, but it's just so sad. And I mean, there's nothing sad right now except the fact that he lost his wife of 49 years. I don't know yet if they've mentioned how long she's been dead. I don't think it's been long. Can you stop biting your nails? Oh. He got mad at me. Just about missing his wife, and you could just read the loneliness through the pages. So in that sense, it's kind of sad. But yeah, that's all I know so far. And I think that's all I'm going to tell you, because this back here, like these few lines up here, that's the synopsis, like up to here. And so there's not much that you can say for a book that's this that's this short without really spoiling it. So yeah, really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the writing, and I'm interested in reading more of his work. I mean, let's see where it goes, but so far so good, guys. Hey guys, sorry that the lighting is horrible right now, but it's 11 o'clock at night and I just finished Stirring the Sheets by Chad Lutzke. Oh my gosh. This was so good, so sad, it just brought up all the emotions of me. It brought sadness. I can feel his loneliness through the pages. It brought not so much as like surprise for what he did or what he does, but I just understood why he did the things that he did. And it was just such a good story. If you haven't read this little short novella here, I highly, highly recommend it. The writing was incredible. His art of storytelling is amazing. I have another one of his books here on my shelves that I am definitely going to pick up soon, because I really, really, really like his writing style and just how he crafts a story. It's just amazing. And I can't believe I haven't read him before. So like I said, it's 11 o'clock. It's probably like 11:05 right now. And I'm going to complete my last challenge of the readathon. What a dork. I'm going to read Wonder Woman Volume 1 for the wild card. I figured another graphic novel would be just perfect to finish this off. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Hey guys, so I'm here closing out the Biannual Bibliothon vlog. I had so much fun. I am so happy that I completed all the challenges for the Biannual Bibliothon. So let's close this bitch out. It finished yesterday. I finished reading all my books yesterday. Well, I finished reading Wonder Woman like at 12:13 at night, but I'm still counting it. I doubled up on two books, so let's get right into the challenges and the books that I read for the Biannual Bibliothon, the last Biannual Bibliothon. That's why I had to make sure that I participated in this one, because it is the last one that they're doing, sadly, but good things always come to an end. So the group book, Aurora Rising, I participated in the group book because I had it, and I usually don't ever participate. I'm so glad I did. I gave this 4 stars. I didn't double up with this book for any of the other challenges. 4 stars. I'm so glad that I listened to the audiobook. I had already explained that halfway through the book it was kind of meh. It was a good, entertaining book, but it's something forgettable until the 300-page mark came in, and bam, it wowed me. So it was originally going to be a 3-star book, but because of that second half, 4 stars. Really did enjoy that one. And the live show is tonight. I think it's my time, it would be 8 o'clock, and I think it's 6 Pacific time. So I've never sat in a live chat before or live video, but I'm excited to see who loved or didn't love the book. And so I'm going to try to participate. So the next book that I completed for the readathon is Daisy Jones and the Six. And this book I did double up for an adult book and a host 5-star read. This was Red's 5-star read. I ended up giving this 5 stars as well. Fantastic. The way to read this book is listening to the audiobook. Like, this should have been done just in audio format, or we should have been like buying this book and received the audiobook for free, because to me, that's the way to go with the book. Amazing, the characters, it's a full cast audiobook, and so you really feel it. This is written as an interview with the band, with what happened from start to end. Daisy, how she started in her career, her life, how they all got together, how they all went on with their careers. Really, really good book. Next book I completed was Lock and Key for the graphic novel challenge. I ended up giving it 5 stars. Joe Hill's, just like his father, Stephen King, their imaginations and their writing is just incredible. This has to do with, there's a family tragedy and they move to the mansion, the Locke mansion. And his dad grew up, or the kid's dad, one of the characters, grew up in this house, and there's like secrets and hidden doors and hidden areas with different keys. It's brutal at the beginning because we start off with a murder. So really, really good. Enjoyed it. I am definitely going to continue with that graphic novel series. Next book I read was Wilder Girls. I'm so excited that I got to read this book. 5 stars. It was amazing. I wish that we would have gotten a little more at the end. The ending wasn't phenomenal for me, but it wasn't bad. But even with that little part that I wanted more, I still gave it 5 stars. Such a unique YA story. The characters, you just fall in love with them. You feel bad for these girls that are stuck in this boarding school. They're actually quarantined because of the disease, the tox, that ended up overtaking them. And you just follow these girls, what they go through. Something big happens, and there's lies, there's secrets, of course, as there is always in books. But Hetty has become one of my favorite characters. 5 stars. And I actually did double up with this book. I did this for based on cover and predicted 5-star read, which I was right. 5 stars all the way. The next book I read was for Wild Card, and I read the Wonder Woman Volume 1, The Lies graphic novel. This was the last book I read, and I underestimated this, because if you notice the difference here with the graphic novels, this is Lock and Key and then this is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is actually longer than Lock and Key. Lock and Key is just one of these graphic novels with the thick pages, while Wonder Woman, it's literal like magazine pages. And so this is actually 20 pages longer than Lock and Key. And so really, really did enjoy it. It's my first time reading a Wonder Woman graphic novel. I gave it 4 stars. It was a little bit confusing at times. And while I love the Wonder Woman movies, I know that they started in graphic novels, but it was a little confusing at times within the storyline in itself, but I really did enjoy it. I mean, she is badass. And then the last book I read is for author I never read before, and that's Stirring the Sheets. 5 stars. What a little novella. Powerful, packs a punch. This deals with loss and grief. We follow Emmett. He lost his wife a year ago and he's almost turning 70. He was married to her about 50 years, 49, 50 years, and she died in an accident, and it's just him going through the motions at 70 without the love of his life, and just carrying on with life. Powerful book. If you haven't read this, and I mean that cover is just amazing, but if you haven't read Stirring the Sheets, It's a little one. Like, it takes no time to read, but it's so deep and it makes you feel so many emotions. 5 stars. So that was it for the Biannual Bibliothon. The Newts readathon is next month. Oh my gosh. But I have to read 17 books for my challenges. That's going to be exciting. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. Let me know down below if you guys participated in the Biannual Bibliothon, if what you read, what was your favorite book from the readathon. If you have a video, share it with me. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.